Mark Harold is an international jet-setter, but with uncontrolled hypertension, Mark is flying on borrowed time. For Mark, managing his condition is challenging, particularly when he's working on call.
The stressful part is just sitting around waiting, not knowing where you're going to go. When you're organised and you know you've got a straightforward roster, you know where you're going to go, you can pack for it. When you're not organised or not scheduled to do anything particularly, you're just going to try and cover all bases.
And one of the bases Mark has to cover is his hypertension, an insidious condition that leaves him exposed to sudden death.
162/92.
That reading is dangerously high. So the health hazard team have referred Mark to cardiologist Malcolm Leggett for a comprehensive checkup.
One of the issues is that a lot of people have heart disease and have absolutely no symptoms, and this is something that we're always keenly aware of when we see people. If they are at risk of developing a heart problem, they may have very subtle symptoms.
And one of the subtle tools Malcolm uses to detect any physical damage to Mark's heart triggered by the hypertension is an echocardiogram.
You'll be pleased to know you do have a heart. Basically, it's a very good way of taking precise measurements of the heart, making sure that everything's as it should be. Sometimes with high blood pressure, the heart's pumping against an increased load, and you can, like any muscle that's been working too hard, you can get thickening up of the heart muscle. And it might be good for your biceps, but it's not particularly good for your heart, unfortunately. So that's one of the things we look at in people who have had high blood pressure. Just looking at the valves in the heart, there's no leaky valves. The main pumping chamber is normal size, normal thickness of the walls there is up to 1.2 centimetres, so there isn't any what we call hypertrophy or thickening of the heart muscle, which is good news. It's your heart just ticking away there. So, makes all different sounds depending on where the blood's flowing. We use the Doppler effect to look at the velocity of blood flow across the different valves to measure the pressure difference across the valves, which is very useful.
Measure how fast it bounces back.
Yeah, just take a breath in there. Okay, halfway out. Stop there. That's better. Good. Breathe normally. The aorta here, this is the big blood vessel coming out of the heart, is normal size, 3.6 centimetres, so that's normal there, which is good. And looking at the descending aorta here, going across where the arteries go up towards the brain and then down to supply the body, the velocity there is normal, so there's no narrowing of the aorta, which sometimes can predispose to high blood pressure. It's looking pretty good.
Fortunately for Mark, the echocardiogram hasn't detected any abnormalities. But as Malcolm warns, Mark's long-term prognosis might not be quite so positive.
Potentially he is at risk of developing significant complications of high blood pressure if he continues with it being poorly controlled. When we did the echocardiogram, the ultrasound of the heart, we didn't see any evidence that he's got problems at the moment with effects on the heart like thickening of the heart muscle or enlargement of the heart or impairment of the heart function or enlargement of the aorta. But his blood pressure is still not perfect. It's really quite significantly elevated when we took it, and I think that does definitely need more work.
And Mark's prepared to put in the work. No stranger to exercise, it's come as a bit of a surprise to find he's been on the wrong track.
Okay, Mark, we'll keep the revs up. I know that you're used to going to the gym. How often do you go?
Not very often at the moment, but starting to get back there more and more often.
You normally go pretty hard, eh?
I went to a class the other day, which is a pump and sculpt, and it's amazing. I didn't realise how much I'd lost the fitness I thought I had, and now I feel like I've been run over by the All Black pack. And, my limbs, everything is hurting, and I'm really suffering.
Okay, we're just going to tick it over. Right. We'll do 15 minutes on the bike. Okay. Then we'll go and do some weights. We'll do posture weights. Right. Then we'll do 15 minutes on the rower.
Training doesn't mean you kill yourself, flogging yourself for 2 hours. Training means you go for a little ride, you go for a walk, you meet up with your mate Ed at the gym, and we do a little bit of workout and chat about your diet.
Just stay at this pace. The idea is just keep going, keep it at that level, and enjoy it. With Mark, mate, I said he's away a lot, and it's always about taking responsibility. He can't be at a gym all the time, he's travelling and so forth. So I said to him, get a journal, and every time he's at a gym, learn a new exercise, write it down, and just get a better understanding.
With Ed's help, Mark's actively changing his exercise pattern to one more helpful to his heart.
You know, certainly the recommendation is that people should try and participate in some regular exercise for at least 20 minutes, preferably 30 to 40 minutes, 5 days a week. Enough to get your heart rate going, to give you some good aerobic activity. And that regular exercise in itself is a huge benefit in terms of reducing cardiovascular risk, both in people who haven't got any heart problems, but particularly if you have had a heart attack, you can actually reduce your risk of another heart attack dramatically by at least a third by simply engaging in regular exercise. It does lots of good things. It reduces stress hormone levels. It opens up capillaries in the muscle bed. It lowers blood pressure. It opens up the arteries. We think it also may reduce inflammation within the arteries as well.
While many people with hypertension take drugs to regulate the condition, it's important to remember that it is primarily lifestyle related.
One has to question the modern lifestyle. We all lead a pretty stressful, busy life, and we know that can predispose to the development of heart disease and all the things that will predispose to heart disease, high blood pressure.
The good news for Mark is that his condition has been picked up early, but there's still the strain of irregular hours, shift work and strange time zones.
What I have noticed is a big slowdown in my desire to get out and do something, especially to go for a run or go for a bike ride. It has been quite a struggle to get over that and make a conscious decision to get out there and go for a walk each day, and having to write it down and prove that you've done it. Because you know someone's basically the teacher, which is Ed Timmies, is going to be there to mark your homework when it's all over.
But does Mark have the willpower to keep up the effort needed to compensate for his jet-setting lifestyle?